Hello everyone and welcome back to the UConn Huskies Dynasty. UConn, after a shaky start to the season, has won 5 straight games, currently ranked 8th in the CFP Top 25, and projected to be the 10 seed in the college football playoff. If UConn can manage to win out these final 2 games against the Miami Hurricanes, against the BYU Cougars, they will almost certainly make the playoffs, but they may not even make the Big 12 championship game. The Big 12 championship is based on conference record, and right now it shows us in second, but Texas Tech still has 2 conference games remaining, and if they win both of those, they would finish with a better conference record than us, meaning that they would play Baylor in the Big 12 championship, and UConn would be on the outside looking in. We may still make the playoffs with that scenario, but best case for us would be one of Baylor or Texas Tech losing their last 2 games of the season. Texas Tech plays Kansas and Houston, a Kansas team that is not very good. We beat them 24-0 in shutout fashion, and Houston is just pretty mid. I don't see Texas Tech losing either of these 2 games, and Baylor's matchups are even easier, so I would genuinely be surprised if we have a path to the Big 12 championship game. The most likely scenario would probably be Texas Tech losing to Houston in the final week of the season. But all we can do is control what we can control, and that starts with beating the Hurricanes on the road in Miami. The Canes having a down year, they're sitting at about 500, but they are still a formidable opponent, and they play at one of the toughest places to play in the country here in year number 5. A week ago, UConn could not run the football very well, and really honestly, since Tobin has taken over the offense as the quarterback, the running game has been much weaker. Can we get that going today against Miami? So far, no gain for Shaq McBath. If you see there in the top right, Stadium Pulse toughness rank 17, so a top 20 difficult place to play in the country, as Tobin gets this to his main man, the new superstar of the team, Dalton Schmizniak, for his first reception on the day. 1st and 10 from the 43. McBath gonna get another carry, and a decent one this time as the blocking holds up. 3rd down and inches, and we'll go back to the ground. McBath will get the first, but doesn't get a lot extra. 1st down from the 44. Tobin blitz on its way, back to pass, and throwing for McBath. And that'll be a pickup of 8. Sophomore halfback Max Cadet checks into the game for the 2nd and 2. And he will get the carry, and he's got a good running lane. Trucks over one defender, fighting for extra yardage, and near the red zone down at the 21. Moving right along. 1st and 10. Back to pass again. This goes underneath. That's Terry Overhauser on the reception. Falls forward and gets the 4th first down of the drive. 1st and 10 from the 10. As we're scrambling with Dorian Tobin trying to find the edge. He can't quite do it. Does get past the line of scrimmage to set up a 2nd and goal. From the 7, Tobin to throw. Drag route for Brock Montgomery. Breaks out of the tackles and is into the end zone. UConn strikes first. The senior wideout, Brock Montgomery, with another touchdown on the season. And UConn will take the early 7-0 lead over Miami. So here comes the Miami offense, and outside of Alabama, this is probably the most potent offense we will face this season. Judd Anderson is the senior quarterback leading them there, and look at these junior, sophomores, freshmen they have at quarterback. They are set for a very long time for the future, already having an 84 junior, 82 sophomore, and an 80 freshman. At halfback, the primary guy is Raymond Bandy, but then they also have Zach Wilkins. And at wide receiver, they are quite deep, led by Nate Lindley. Then they have Deshaun Hussein, Vi Moreau, and Jamie York. And then at tight end, it's Balin Rossi and Trey Choice. This is a good offense that we certainly need to be careful of, as Anderson will fake the handoff, scrambling left side, takes the check down to his tight end, and tripped up in the midfield by Gerard Byler. That's Balin Rossi. Finally, a team that does not run with tempo. I want to say the past 3 games have been against tempo offenses. Handoff in the backfield. Down goes Bandy. It's Joey Terrell and A.J. Hepburn for the combined TFL. So now a 3rd and medium. Will UConn get the stop despite the pretty big pickup on the 1st down? As this throw underneath, that is completed. And for a 1st down to Moreau. Fresh set of downs from their own 39. Anderson out of the shotgun. Bandy in the backfield will not get the carry. Set it to throw right side. Good blocking down the field. A.J. Hepburn ends up making the tackle, though, to save what probably would have been a touchdown. So far, Judd Anderson getting the ball out very quickly, not having to be particularly worried about this blitz, as this time he's going to hand off Bandy, and in the backfield is the senior linebacker, Raheem Lovelace. The TFL makes it 2nd and 12 from the 36, and it's another handoff. Bandy, this time more running room, runs into Lovelace and Byler that time. 3rd down and 10 for the Hurricanes. From the UConn 33, Anderson will actually hand it off. Bandy, he's got a huge running lane up the middle. Missed tackle from Byler, and Santos saves a touchdown. The HB draw play works for Raymond Bandy. Was definitely not expecting a run on 3rd and 10. Bandy steps out. That is Zach Wilkins now in the backfield. Anderson will look to throw, though. Blitz on its way. In zone. Incomplete. He dropped it. Should have been a touchdown. Instead, it's 2nd and goal from the 6. Anderson to throw again under some pressure over the middle. That is caught, but just short of the end zone. George Kiki keeping Nate Lindley out. So now a 3rd and goal from the half-yard line. Anderson hands off. Wilkins untouched. End zone touchdown Miami. And they will match on their first drive to tie this game back up. It's a very efficient drive, which is a little concerning for this UConn defense, which is typically very, very stout, or at least has been so far this season. With the inconsistencies of this offense, I don't know that I necessarily trust us if we go to a shootout. 1st and 10 from the 17 as Max Cadet going to get the carry, and he's going to get a first. Good pickup for Cadet. McBath checks back in on the 1st and 10 from the 28, and he will get the carry, tries to hit the spin move, and picks up 5. 2nd down from the 33, Tobin back to pass, takes the check down to Cadet, and I think that's going to lose yards. They'll mark him down at the line of scrimmage. That ends the first quarter. 3rd and 5 upcoming. The crowd definitely having an effect on this one, as Tobin looks to throw, stepping up in the pocket, was gonna scramble, but met Marco Crespo. Down goes Tobin. He's slow to get up as well, and UConn will punt it away. Good field position to start the new drive for Miami. Defense getting a stop for them. Throw quickly over the middle. That is completed for a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2 from the 40 for Anderson in the offense. And it's a speed option. Fakes the pitch, but gets the first anyway. Seemed like Adonis Keough had him dead to rights, but got faked out by the fake pitch. So a fresh set of downs as they near midfield from the 43. And a quick check down. Nick Giuliano's right there, but it is a pickup of 6. Anderson been getting the ball out a bit too quickly for our defense, and he'll do so again here on an RPO. Lots of running room. Santos chases him down from the left side and brings him down, but another huge pickup. If we do manage to win this game, I'm sure other playoff teams are taking notes of the quick pass game being incredible so far against us. Nate Putu, bad coverage, and another first. Judd Anderson already over 100 yards on the day, and they've got themselves to a 1st and goal from the 9. Bandy on the carry. Lots of running room. Giuliano saves the touchdown, but it is a 2nd and goal at the 2. Loaded front for UConn on a 3rd down and goal after incompletion. Anderson hands off. Bandy gets into the end zone. Addison Biggs, Joey Terrell could not keep him out, and it's another 6 for Miami. And they will take the lead off of the Raymond Bandy touchdown. This game feels like it is flying by. Under 7 minutes left in the 2nd quarter. 1st and 10 from the 25 for UConn. So we're back to pass. Try to get this to Brock Montgomery, but can't get it there. 2nd and 10 will go to the air again. And this one gets to Dalton Schmizniak, falls forward, and has the first. Fresh set of downs, empty set for Tobin. Tevin Madu, man in motion. Jet touch pass for him. Makes a nifty little move and gets 6 yards. McBath back in the backfield. 2nd and 4, and McBath will get the carry and has a first. From our own 46, Cadet to get the carry this time, and shedding the block at the perfect time as the D tackle. 1 yard picked up. 2nd down, blitz on its way. Big one at that. Should have been intercepted. Tobin panicking, throwing quickly to Schmizniak, and it's nearly picked. Really good play call there from the Miami Hurricanes defense, and it's a 3rd and 9. From the 47, Tobin Looking to throw, trying to get this one to Terry Overhauser. Had no time, and we'll have to punt it once again. That is new left tackle Nolan Lindsay getting beat badly and leaving Tobin no time. 14-7, 4:21 left in the first half. Anderson brings him in over in motion, and then we'll hand off. Bandy burst of speed, meets Nick Giuliano and gets 4. Out of the shotgun once again, man in motion. Jet touch pass for Miami, and it's a much better one than ours was. Big stiff arm on Giuliano. George Kiki saves a touchdown. That's Vi Morrow on the big pickup. And currently we have no answers for this Miami offense. Judd Anderson absolutely cooking so far today, and they're going for a trick play, a shot down the field. It's complete and up to the 11 for the Hurricanes. A receiver, I think that was Morrow actually, who turns out is a lefty, throwing that down the field. Miami doing whatever they want offensively, and now it's a 1st and 10 at the 11 as they've had no issues moving the football down the field. A quick check down to Morrow again, and it's a pickup of 9. 2nd and 1. Bandy in the backfield. He'll get the carry. He'll get in the end zone, no problem. And the defense is just absent today. The Hurricanes score quickly again and will take a 21-7 lead here late in the second quarter. Hard to say what's happening with the UConn defense, but it's really, really bad. We cannot get to the quarterback. We can't stop the run. We can't stop the pass. 21-7, 8th ranked UConn down by 2 scores here against the University of Miami as Max Cadet, another good carry for him. 2.5 left to play in the first. Minute 58 left to play. Kind of a must-score situation for UConn as Miami gets the ball coming out of the half. McBath, room to work with, hits the spin move. Nobody whiffs, and he's up past the 50 to the 46. If you see there, risk of injury for Tobin is high. So marching out onto the field is the redshirt freshman Calvin Plummer, who almost won the starting job from Dorian Tobin when we decided to bench Cole Welliver. And Plummer makes the throw to Dalton Schmizniak. Will hurry it up. Minute 20 left to be played. Plummer now leading the offense on this drive. He'll throw for Tevin Madu, who does hold on. Clock keeps rolling. I'll give you an update on Tobin as soon as I have one. 2nd and 9, Plummer back to pass again. And he wants Dalton Schmizniak, but he's hit as he throws the left side of this line, struggling. 46 seconds left to play in the half. On 3rd and 9, Plummer to throw, wants Dalton, has him, and he's got the first. We'll call our first timeout. From the 13, 1st and 10, Plummer back to pass again, and he wants Terry Overhauser, corner, end zone, overthrown by a step. He had Terry, but he missed him. Still no word on Tobin. 2nd and 10, Plummer to throw towards the end zone. He wants Dalton Schmizniak again. It's a little overthrown. 3rd down. Empty set. Calvin Plummer back to pass. He has Dalton Schmizniak again. There is no time to throw from the left side of this line. He had Schmizniak for a wide open touchdown. Nolan Lindsay just gets cooked again. Really no choice but to take the points for UConn. Kick on its way from Zach Costanzo, and that's good. No problem. 21-10 is your score. Hopefully we've got Dorian Tobin back for the second half. So to halftime we go. Down by 2 possessions are the Huskies. 21-10 for Miami, and it has been rough going for the defense in particular. I don't think the offense has played too terribly. It hasn't been great by any means, but man, we have not seen the defense be this poor since much earlier in the season against like Arizona, for example, in the second half. Hopefully we've got Tobin back. If not, I do think that Calvin Plummer can hold it down pretty well. Checking in on Tobin right now at halftime. Risk of injury still high, but he's not receiving any attribute reductions. Not sure what to do in this situation, to be honest. I don't want to risk him getting injured, but we kind of need him, and that potential rushing ability as the left side of this line has just not been able to hold up at all. Plus, his medium accuracy is much better, and we saw that be a little bit of an issue there with Calvin Plummer at the end where he missed 2 corner throws for potential touchdowns. So hopefully the defense made some adjustments as Miami gets to start with the football. And they've scored on every drive except for that very last one at the end. Giuliano forces this one out. Need better coverage, need a better pass rush, need to get to Judd Anderson. That's been our bread and butter. This time, though, he hands off Bandy, and we're in the backfield. Joey Terrell and Corin Daly combined for the TFL. So a 3rd and long. Can UConn get off the field? It's a running back screen setup. Corin Daly's right there, and it's incomplete. 4th and 13, and the defense does their part. They force the punt away. With the season basically on the line, out comes Dorian Tobin. He has no ratings deductions, but is a high injury risk at the moment. Max Cadet gets the carry, nowhere to go, loses 2. If we lose this game, there's almost no chance at the playoffs, which is why we're keeping Tobin in. 2nd and 12 from the 50. Back to pass with Dorian. And just going to have to throw this one away. 3rd and 12. Tobin back to throw, stepping up, scrambling to the left side, gets this to Marcus Angler. There's a flag down. He was likely past the line of scrimmage, but if he wasn't, then it's a huge pickup for UConn. But it's definitely a penalty on Dorian Tobin. Tried to make a play. It's going to be 4th and 17. We'll punt it right back. Going to need the defense to get another stop, which has not been easy, but they did do it on the last drive. Anderson back to pass, hit as he throws George Kiki in the area, not allowing much. In fact, a loss of a yard. 2nd and 11. Anderson will keep it on a read option. Adonis Keogh and Joey Terrell are there. 3rd and 12. And on a 3rd and long, I think Keogh jumped. So it's going to be a 3rd and medium now. 3rd and 7, much more doable than a 3rd and 12. That's a costly penalty for Adonis Keogh. Throwing over the middle, intercepted by A.J. Hepburn. Never mind. Thank you, Adonis. That set up the interception for the cornerback, A.J. Hepburn. And UConn will take over at the Miami 43. A mistake from Judd Anderson. We desperately needed that. 1st and 10 from the 43. Cadet gets the carry. Nowhere to go. The run game just not there. On 2nd and 8, we'll try it through the air. And Tobin scrambling, trying to get that to Cadet, but everyone was in the backfield. Look at this sorry excuse for an offensive line, by the way. 4-man rush, 2 get beat instantly, and then the other 2 also get beat. All 4 pass rushers in the backfield there against Tobin. Not one block held. That is just sad for Dorian Tobin. We're back to pass again. And Tobin looking for Dalton Schmizniak, his main man, and Schmizniak bails him out to the 17. Inside the red zone. Tobin back to pass. Gets it out quickly. Going to have to a lot today, it appears. 2nd and 7 from the 14. Tobin to throw. Scrambling to his right. And going to head out of bounds after pickup of 5. That is a very late hit there at the end. On 3rd and 2, UConn in the Wildcat. Cadet lined up as the quarterback. McBath meant to be his lead blocker, but a little behind him. Max Cadet gets the first, though. Out of the pistol, still Cadet in the backfield. 1st and goal from the 5, and Cadet will get the carry. Nowhere to go, losing a yard. 2nd and goal, Tobin throwing. Montgomery flagged down, and that's going to be a holding call. On top of that, an injury to our normal left guard, Ted Booth. So we back up and have a backup lineman in the game. 2nd and goal from the 16. Tobin, play action. Going to roll. Continuing to roll. Trying to hit Dalton Schmizniak, but he's past the line of scrimmage again. The 2nd time that's happened for Tobin today. So a 3rd and goal from the 19. Tobin to throw, looking towards the end zone. It's intercepted. He was hit as he throws, and it's picked off by the linebacker who maybe should have had one earlier. Huge return for him, by the way, and it's a 1st and 10 Miami as they turn the Huskies back over. You can call that a mistake from Tobin. He has been rushed literally all day. The O-line once again failing this football team. So interceptions for both teams means we're basically at the situation we were before. As Bandy will get the carry, Joey Terrell with the tackle, no gain. Starting to get a little dicey here for UConn as we're late in the 3rd quarter, still down by 11. Judd Anderson, handoff. Bandy, Lovelace with the tackle, 3rd down. From their own 41, it's a 3rd and 7. Anderson looks to throw. Has his target, Santos. Can't knock it out. That's a 1st. And they're past midfield now at the UConn 46. as Anderson will hand off Bandy up the gut. Fumble forced by Raheem Lovelace. It's recovered by Byler, and he's brought down from behind at the Miami 45. The defense is so back. Raheem Lovelace forcing it out. Gerard Byler with the recovery, and UConn will take over once again. Left guard Ted Booth back in the game, and it's a 1st and 10 for UConn, as Cadet will get the carry and trying to fight for extra yardage gets 6. On 2nd and 4, McBath with the carry hits that nasty spin move that he's so good at, gets to the 30. The run game been a little bit better today. On 1st and 10, Cadet up the gut, gets 4. By the way, little to no injury concern anymore for Dorian Tobin. We look to throw, and we've got Brock Montgomery to the outside, tiptoes the sideline, and is up to the 13. Now, we've really struggled in the red zone today. Is this our time? 1st and 10 from the 13. It'll be Max Cadet on the carry, getting 6 yards. Officially, it is the 4th quarter, still down 2 scores. Tobin looking to throw, end zone, incomplete to Marcus Angler. Tobin missed the throw. Angler didn't see the ball. I'm not sure what the issue was. That was a free touchdown. 3rd and 4 from the 6. Tobin to throw. He wants Tevin Madu. He has it forced out. 4th and 4. We have to kick the field goal to make it a 1-score game. The kick from Costanzo up and good. It is 21-13. We'll need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. Can the UConn defense give us one more chance? Handoff, Bandy bounces to the outside but meets Byler, the man who recovered the fumble last drive. 2nd and 11. Anderson this time will go to the air, and it's a setup screen for the running back, incomplete. Had to get it out quickly. 3rd and 11. This is a very significant 3rd down here. Anderson will look to throw, setting up a screen this time for a receiver. Corin Daly's right there. 4th and 11 coming up. They will punt it away, and UConn has a chance to tie. 1st and 10 from the 33. Need the touchdown and the 2-point conversion to tie this game up. McBath on the carry does not have the speed to break away. There was room to the outside. McBath not the fastest, however. 2nd and 10 from the 33. This goes underneath to Terry Overhauser, who gets 8 yards, setting up a 3rd and short. Max Cadet checks in on a 3rd down and 2. We're going his way. Can he pick up the first? He does. Falling forward and down at the 45. On 1st and 10, Tobin to throw. Blitz on its way, but he gets this off to the backup tight end, Dan Sanders, who gets 8 yards. Wildcat once again, 2nd and 2. And it's going to be Cadet on the keeper, trucks over a defender, breaks another tackle, and has a first. From the 40, Tobin back in the game and looking to throw. Scrambling to the right side. Look at all this open field in front of Dorian Tobin as he goes out of bounds at the 22. 1st and 10, Tobin now on fire. Looking to pass. Dalton Schmizniak, corner, end zone. He drops it. Dalton Schmizniak with one of the worst timed drops we've ever seen. I titled the last episode about Dalton Schmizniak because he's been so incredible for us, and he lets us down. That is a dot from Dorian Tobin. It hits him square in the hands perfectly in the bucket over the shoulder. That should be 6. Instead, we have to try again. 2nd and 10 from the 22. Back to pass with Tobin, running out of time, spinning out of a sack, but then falling to another one. 3rd and 16. If we lose this game, we're going to look back at that drop and say, what if? From the 27, a 3rd down and 16. So we're back to pass. Dorian Tobin, lob up for Marcus Angler. It's knocked away. And no choice but to just make the game a little bit closer if we can. Kick from Costanzo on its way, and it is good. 21-16 now, still in favor of the Canes. 1st and 10 from the 25. We need another stand from this defense. Check down on the comeback route. Under 5 left to play. Bandy in the backfield with Anderson. And Anderson will throw quickly, and that is incomplete. They have a drop of their own. I'm not sure if Kiki got his hand on that or not. 3rd and 4. A huge 3rd down here. Anderson to throw, running out of time. Corin Daly gets in the backfield, forces the errant throw, and the UConn offense going to get another chance. The defense allowed 21 in the first half. They've allowed nothing in the second. but they haven't gotten much from their offense. McBath on the carry, broken tackle, but only gets 4. Need to get into the end zone. 2nd and 6, 4 minutes left to play, and Tobin is back to pass. And looking to throw, running out of time. This one is incomplete. Dropped at the end by Tevin Madu. Empty set for Tobin on a significant 3rd down and 6. So he's back to pass. Goes behind Shaq McBath. He was open. Tobin misses the throw. 4th and 6. You have to punt it away here. You cannot give Miami the field position if we don't convert the 4th down. Need yet another stop from this defense. I just keep thinking about that Dalton Schmizniak touchdown drop. Handoff, Bandy, Raheem Lovelace in the backfield, a loss of 3. Nothing you can do but continue to try. The season is on the line for the Huskies. A bowl game would not feel nearly as good as a playoff berth. Raheem Lovelace forces another one. The 2nd forced fumble from Raheem Lovelace. It's recovered by D'Angelo Townsend. The senior linebacker wants into the playoffs so badly. Raheem Lovelace, you are a monster. A round of applause for the senior linebacker, but the game's not finished. We have to get into the end zone in the next 3 minutes. Max Cadet gets the carry, just need to hold on to the football. He's got the first, and he's up to the 15. About 2.5 minutes left to play. 1st down and 10. Cadet gets the carry. There's nowhere to go. The blocking's not there. A loss of 3 this time. 2nd and long, 2 minutes left. So we look to throw with Dorian Tobin, and he gets it to Dalton Schmizniak. 2-minute timeout. 3rd and 10. We have struggled in the red zone all day today. Tobin back to pass towards the end zone, incomplete. 4th and 10. We have to go for it. From the 15, we got to get to the 5. Tobin back to pass, scrambling right side. Look at all that open field for Dorian Tobin, and UConn takes the lead. Touchdown, Huskies. Dorian Tobin suffering with injury concerns early in the game. Second half, he doesn't care. He's back. He wants it all, and he gets the 6, putting UConn up by a point right now. Dorian Tobin. And shout out Raheem Lovelace. His 2nd forced fumble of the day is what led to this. We, of course, are going for the 2-point conversion. Make it an even 3-point lead. I know that's an odd number, but you know what I mean. They'd need a field goal to tie. From the 3, the 2-point conversion. Scrambling is Tobin, stepping up, ran out of time. Everything was pretty well covered. 22-21, the first time since the first quarter that the defense has had the lead. Judd Anderson throws over the middle, finding his man immediately, and that's a huge pickup to start the drive for the Hurricanes. 1.5 minutes left to play. They only need field goal range. They do not need to get much further. Need another play to be made, and this time it's completed over the middle, and they are in field goal range. We've got to start using timeouts. This was the concern with not being able to get that 2-point conversion. A field goal wins the game for Miami. Handoff, Bandy, running room to the outside, and we will call our 2nd timeout. That's all we can do at this point. 2nd and 9. A sack or a huge TFL is what we really need right now. Bandy, running room to the outside again, breaks a tackle and has a first. We'll call another timeout, but it feels like all hope is lost at this point. 1:10 left to be played. Honestly, at this point, we want them to score quickly. Fake handoff, looking to throw towards the end zone, incomplete. Honestly, maybe would have preferred if that got in. Don't understand the fact that they're passing the ball there so they can just chew clock and kick the field goal for the win. As Anderson looks to throw under pressure, it's Corin Daly in the backfield. 3rd and 16, but we have no timeouts. In fact, they're burning one. This is some significant clock mismanagement. 3rd and 16. They'll hand it off to Bandy, and he's brought down from behind. Now it's a 4th and 14. They're going to kick this field goal with like 20 seconds left. If the kick is good, it's not looking great for UConn to win this game. And with 20 seconds left on the clock, on its way, and that is right down the middle. Miami will retake the lead with under 20 seconds remaining in the game. We need a miracle. Can that miracle's name be Terry Overhauser? As he takes this one from deep, he can't get through. 14 seconds is all that remains for Dorian Tobin in the offense. We also just need field goal range, but we have significantly less time to do so. Tobin, back to pass, scrambling, He wants Dalton Schmizniak. He's got a lane deep down the field, and with 6 seconds left, he gets out of bounds. If we can run one quick play to get just a few more yards and get out of bounds, we might have a chance. Or is it better to go for the end zone? I'm not too sure. We're going to try for the end zone. 1st and 10 from the 44. Tobin back to pass and scrambling, just heaving one up for Dalton Schmizniak. Go make a play. It's incomplete, and the clock hits 0. UConn upset 24-22 in Miami, and the playoff hopes have probably died here with this loss. Raheem Lovelace gave it his best shot. It wasn't enough. The offense could not get in the end zone today, and we fall short. How different does this game look if Dalton Schmizniak catches that corner end zone pass? Do we tie the game up right there and have more opportunities to maybe extend a lead? Who knows? It's hard to say. Hindsight is 2020, but even right now, hindsight's not feeling very good. A loss for UConn, 24-22. Just a devastating loss for the UConn Huskies. The only thing they can hope for now is, because they are still 6-2 in conference, that if Texas Tech or Baylor loses a game, we do still have a path through the Big 12 championship game. But we'll go ahead and advance to week 13 and see what happens after the loss. Gordon Hagens, a 3-star right guard, has committed, and Etienne Dukwe, a 3-star corner, has committed. Joey Terrell wins Big 12 Defensive Player of the Week. I think it should have been Raheem Lovelace. In my heart, it's Raheem Lovelace. I mean, 5 TFLs, no small feat for Joey Terrell. But Raheem Lovelace, 3 TFLs and 2 forced fumbles, completely shifted the tide of that game. I know we still lost, but man, if we would have won, it would have been all thanks to Raheem Lovelace. So after the loss, UConn has dropped all the way to 16th. Texas Tech beat Kansas and is now up to 9th. And oh my God, Baylor lost to Louisiana. The issue, though, is that was not a conference game for Baylor. So is it a bad loss? Yes, but I don't think it actually has really any implications at all for the Big 12 championship game. I think that they would still be in unless they lose the final game of the season. Same goes for Texas Tech. So we need help. We need Baylor to lose. We need Texas Tech to lose. Here's the CFP bracket, and this time it is lacking UConn. Baylor is still there as the 12 seed. Texas Tech now there as the 10 seed. I guess they are now projected to be the winners of the Big 12 championship. Tulane at 11-0 is the 2 seed, and then LSU 11-0 is the 1. Also, shout out East Carolina. I don't know why they're listed as the 4 seed currently at 8-3, but you know, they're in the playoffs right now. Big recruiting week coming up for UConn. Anthony Giordano is close to committing. He visits this week versus BYU. Washington did gain more than us this past week. Unfortunately for us, our hard sell is not the greatest for him. He likes the athletic facilities, brand exposure, and pro potential, and that's 3 of our worst things. So there is a chance here that we're going to lose out on Giordano. Thank goodness he visits this week, as we might be able to clinch the commit with the win over BYU, assuming we get it. Matthew Deese could commit this week. He's also visiting versus BYU, as is Lawrence Rogan. A&M has taken a huge leap on him. The other one to worry about is Rashad Tryon, where Tennessee has taken a huge jump, and we are about to be locked into his top 3. I have added a center in Casey Nestrowitz, a gem halfback in Cal Volk, and a kicker in Tyree Collis. You might be wondering why I'm going after a kicker, because we got one last season. Well, it turns out that kicker is literally at his ratings maximums right now, and he is worse than Zach Costanzo. So probably need somebody else and to just let that guy go. So that's why we're going after Tyree Collis. Also, due to the fact that we may be losing Rashad Tryon to Tennessee, I have found a 3-star gem in Juan Beaver, a possession tight end, and we are going after him. If we get both, fantastic. Tight end, a position that we are horrible at. Does not hurt to get more guys in the building. But if we can't get Tryon, then I like Beaver quite a bit. BYU, by the way, quite a bit better this season, at least in terms of their record, and their overall, honestly, is a lot better as well. 85, 85, 86. They've seen some significant development between last season and this season. Not going to be an easy out. It's the final home game of the season. Likely the final home game in the career of Raheem Lovelace, a fan favorite. UConn facing off against BYU, a team they've beat 2 seasons in a row, but clearly this is a better BYU team than we've ever seen before. And it's going to be a snow game for the Huskies. We saw how poorly Welliver performed in the snow game last season. Can Tobin be better? BYU is a team that we have honestly dominated in the past. I'd like to see more of that, but clearly it's not a team that we can kind of underestimate anymore. We shall see how it goes. 2nd and 8. As Tobin back to pass, trying to get this one to Dalton. Schmizniak does so, and Schmizniak down in the open field and up to the 46 of BYU. On 1st and 10, Tobin back to pass again, and he wants Schmizniak again, who holds on but then has it forced out at the end. Thought he was coming down with that. It's 2nd down. Jump forward to play. It's a 3rd down and 7. Max Cadet in the backfield from the 43. Tobin back to pass and runs out of time. Down he goes. This O-line once again failing us. Taking a look at this BYU offense, I'm starting to see why maybe they are a bit of an underrated team here in the Big 12. They've got Noah Lugo, a senior now, up to an 87. They still have Deshaun Marable up to an 88 now. They also have Brian Carmazzi. A little weaker at receiver, but they do have some decent guys with Devin Downing and Steven Jasper. They also have Barron Tipton, J.R. Babcock, and Miguel Flores, who has 97 speed. And at tight end, it's Terrell Beaver and Lionel Turpin. Definitely a decent little team here for BYU, which, by the way, keep an eye on number 23, D'Angelo Townsend on our team. He's actually a Provo, Utah native, which I did not mention last season when we played BYU, 2nd and 11. This is a team that runs with tempo once again. On 2nd down, Lugo looks to throw, has time, checks it down to the halfback. Joey Terrell can't make the tackle, but Byler comes in and does so. Another loss. By the way, let me know how you're feeling about this jersey combo with the white helmet on the blue jerseys. I like it a lot, personally. 3rd and 13, Lugo back to pass. Excellent pocket. Takes the check down to Marable. Goes nowhere. 4th and 8. They'll go 3 and out. Let's see if UConn can be any better offensively on the 2nd drive. We'll get this out quickly for Tevin Madu. And had a little bit of running room. Gets 8. For anyone keeping track at home, Dorian Tobin does not have the natural mental ability like Calvin Plummer and like Neil Powell have, so he might perform a little more poorly in poor weather. 2nd and 2 from the 46. Obviously, this is a must-win game for UConn as Cadet goes down in the backfield. But like I was saying, obviously a must-win game for UConn, but they do need a little bit of help on the way as well. 3rd and 4. So we're back to pass, and we want Dalton Schmizniak. He makes the grab and has the first. 1st and 10 from the 50. And it's going to be a keeper for Tobin, swallowed up instantly. A loss of 3. We need one of Baylor or Texas Tech to lose in this final matchup. So keep an eye on that ticker on the bottom. Let me know if you see him. 2nd and 13 from the 47. And we'll go Brock Montgomery's way. And he's got a little bit of room to work with. It makes it a more manageable 3rd and 5. From the 45, empty set, Dorian Tobin, as he's back to pass, and will take the check down to Max Cadet on the drag route, which gets him the easy first. From the 35, play action. Tobin to throw, has Marcus Angler, maybe floated that a little bit too much. Didn't give him time to cut it upfield, but we'll take 4 yards. Still 0-0 here with 3 minutes left in the first, as Cadet gonna get the next carry, and it's gonna be a good one. Trucks over a defender, open field, Max Cadet falling forward and down at the 1. 1st and goal, UConn. The sophomore halfback showing off the power. From the half-yard line, still Max Cadet. Direct snap to him, and he punches this into the end zone. Touchdown, UConn. They'll strike first. Max Cadet, a goal line back if ever there were one, finds another touchdown on his season, and it'll be 7-0 UConn. By the way, quick shout out to any seniors on the team. This is likely their final home game. That includes a guy like Cole Welliver. That includes Shaq McBath. At wide receiver, you've got Brock Montgomery, who is a senior. On the offensive line, there's guard Blake Franks, who is easily our best lineman this year. There's Jack Hines. Defensively speaking, the big one is Raheem Lovelace. He's like the main man graduating this season. We are going to miss the hell out of this guy. And then another guy from our first ever recruiting class, Robert Butts. This is his final season as well. And you can't forget about the man kicking this football, Zach Costanzo. Struggled in his first couple seasons, has been really good for us since. It's definitely been a down year for UConn. You could kind of feel it when the season started and the offense just could not do anything, that it might be a little bit of a down year, as this one is a jet touch pass, and we're back there immediately, Adonis Keough. But we are still a super young team. Most of the talent is going to be back next season, assuming they don't declare for the draft. A guy I might be worried about declaring is Joey Terrell, for example, as Lugo gets this one out quickly. That is caught and completed for a first up to the 41. Lugo flips the play with Marble to his right. That was Jasper on the reception, by the way. Lugo hit as he throws, finds Jasper again. That's a pickup of 7. Second down and 3. And they'll go delayed handoff to Sean Marable, and he's not going to get the first. 3rd and 1. They go back to Marable, spin move, but he stood up in the backfield. A number of UConn defenders there, and BYU will punt it away on 4th and 2. By the way, if we do miss out on the college football playoff, we're kind of to the point as a team where just a regular bowl game does not mean that much to us. So I think what we'll do is in a regular bowl game, it'll kind of be a senior night of sorts. We'll let Cole Welliver get one final start in before he graduates and just play any senior that hasn't really gotten a huge opportunity. Let me know if you like the thought of that Wildcat formation here for UConn. Still got a game to play here. I know I'm a little distracted thinking about the end of the season as, dude, Max Cadet is a beast. 7-0 UConn as the second quarter begins. Still Cadet in the backfield. He will be the one getting the carry. He will likely be the primary back next season. Pickup of 8. Speaking of primary back next season, we got to figure out what we're doing with this offense next year. Is Tobin still the guy at quarterback? Does it depend on how much progress Pelshak sees? I mentioned before that Tobin has really good running back attributes as Madu gets the jet touch pass, but a flag is down. That one is a holding on the offense. I kind of see Tobin as a gadget guy in the future, but I guess it remains to be seen. Next season will be his junior season. 2nd and 12 from the 30 as we're back to pass. And we throw this and it's intercepted. And this one not going to be returned particularly far. Jack Hines is there. 1st and 10 at the UConn 24 coming up for BYU. I'm going to be honest, with the snow and the white jerseys, I just never saw the guy. Mistake there gives BYU the chance to tie this football game up. Excellent starting field position. Noah Lugo throwing quickly, finding his target. 2nd and 3 from the 17. Lugo to throw again, and the check down to the halfback. Meet Raheem Lovelace. Big hit laid. 3rd and 4 from the 18 in the red zone. Lugo on 3rd down and 4 will look to throw again. Blitz on its way, scrambling, still scrambling, hit as he throws, gets it out of bounds. It'll be 4th down. They'll attempt a field goal here. The defense playing as well as ever so far in this game. Kick from the left hash. Can't tell exactly where they're at on the field, but not an easy field goal. It's still good anyway. 7-3, still UConn with the lead. 1st and 10 from the 25. Maybe we just continue to let Max Cadet cook as he runs into Wayne Rourke that time. Has been a very good day for Cadet so far. 2nd and 10 from the 25. Back to pass with Tobin, and underneath to Terry Overhauser. He'll get the first. From the 36, a 1st and 10. And we're back to pass with Tobin again. We'll take the check down. That's Shaq McBath on the reception and up past the 50 to the 46. No running back in the backfield for Dorian Tobin. He's looking to throw again, and he'll go McBath's way one more time. Another spin move from Shaq, and he's up to the 32. 1st and 10 as Tobin looks to throw again. And he's going to throw this for Dalton Schmizniak. Outruns the defender who was lined up on him and gets to the 18. 2nd and 6. Play action, and then a throw in the direction of Tevin Madu. Makes the grab and goes out of bounds at the 5. Wildcat once again for UConn. 1st and goal from the 5. And it's a keeper for Shaq McBath. He's just short of that goal line. 2nd and goal from the 2. And it's going to be a handoff. McBath again, and he punches it in. The senior halfback in his final home game gets into the end zone. Touchdown, UConn. Shaq has performed admirably this season. Was off to a red-hot start at the beginning of the year. Slowed down a bit, but we still love him. He had to fill some big shoes, the likes of Victor Rosa, Cam Edwards, Darrell Robinson before him, and I think he did a pretty nice job. 5 minutes left to play in the first half. This BYU offense has not been able to do a whole lot today. 1st and 10 from the 17. Do have the 3 points, but that's mostly due to the turnover. Speaking of which, Santos should have had a pick. He does have a gold house call, by the way, which increases his odds of catching interceptions. Not that time, I guess. Maybe the weather playing a factor. 2nd and 10. Quick throw to the tight end and a pickup of about 7. 3rd down and 3 for Lugo and the BYU offense. And it's going to be a throw, and that is incomplete. Forced out by Santos. Played good defense on that drive. BYU goes 3 and out. Good starting field position for the Huskies. First down and 10 as McBath will get the carry, cuts this back, finds a lane up the middle and gets 7. 3rd and 3 from the 50, Wildcat again. And it's going to be a read option, but McBath chooses to keep, and he gets the first up to the 38. Good day on the ground so far for either of the two running backs, as Tobin gets to throw here, and he'll find Brock Montgomery, and he'll go down after a pickup of 9. From inside the 30, Tobin scrambling to the right side, maybe going to take off to run here, and just goes out of bounds. Did not get the block upfield he wanted from McBath. 1st and 10, play action, and Tobin back to pass. Going to scramble to the left. Still scrambling, getting this off to Schmizniak. Maybe would have just been better to run at that point, but hey, we'll take it. From the 18, Tobin to throw. Maybe going to scramble again as he's got room. Slides down at the 9. It'll be 1st and goal. 1.5 left to play in the half. This is a throw for Brock Montgomery, another senior getting into the end zone. Touchdown UConn. Tobin to Montgomery. You know, when he became a senior, I really did not see him having much of a role on this team, but he kind of proved himself to start the year, becoming the wide receiver 3 and then the wide receiver 2 after Tobin moved back to quarterback. And he has just been a solid second option all year. I have zero complaints about Brock Montgomery. He has been a great player. Minute 24 for BYU's offense to try to get some points on the board before halftime. As Lugo throws quickly, wide open tight end, going to be brought down by Nick Giuliano. They'll burn their first timeout. Byler on the wrong side of the field for his coverage assignment there. 1st and 10 from the 36 after the big pickup. Lugo scrambling left side. D'Angelo Townsend nearly got in the backfield, and Lugo runs into Lovelace, goes down. The clock will keep moving. It'll stop temporarily due to the first. So now at the 48 near midfield. A minute left to play. Lugo to throw again. And has some time stepping up in the pocket. Going to look to scramble again. Has a lead blocker. Byler gets an arm on him and makes a good open field tackle. Another timeout burned by BYU. Only one remaining. 56 seconds in the half. This is the best their offense has looked in terms of getting yardage at the very least. Lugo over the middle. His man beat George Kiki badly. And that is a first. That was Devin Downing on the reception. From the 23, a 1st and 10. 25 seconds left. Lugo throwing, taking a shot towards the end zone. Touchdown BYU. This time it's Jamie Santos getting burned, and it's Steven Jasper, the beneficiary, getting in the end zone. That was very quick from the Cougars, who do get the ball to start the second half. Really good drive there from Noah Lugo and a good deep ball throw to Jasper. 18 seconds left. We're just going to run it with McBath. Unless something crazy happens, that'll probably do it for the half. Although we do have 2 timeouts left. Let's call one and just see if some magic can happen. 1st and 10 from the 33. Tobin back to pass. Going to launch one down the field for Tevin Madu. He's made miracle catches in the past. He does it again. Tevin Madu. What is this guy made of? Another miracle grab from Tevin Madu. The second time this season that Madu has made one of those insane catches right when we needed it. He also got out of bounds, so we can take one shot at the end zone, but it's got to be pretty quick. So we're going to try to lead Dalton Schmizniak to the corner, and that's going to fall incomplete with 3 seconds left in the half. We'll attempt the field goal. Kick from Costanzo on its way, and good. Wow, that did not get there almost, but it had just enough power from the senior Zach Costanzo. So we head to halftime, a lead for the UConn Huskies. Looking pretty good. 24-10 is the score, up by 2 touchdowns. About what you'd expect. UConn definitely a much better team than BYU on paper and, you know, in terms of the product on field week in and week out for the most part this season. Though BYU clearly improving. From the 25, a 1st and 10 for BYU to start the second half. Deshaun Marable on the carry. It's a good one. He gets 8. Marable maybe a late round draft pick in the NFL draft this season, as he is a pretty solid running back, and he is brought down after the pickup of 1. It appears that this game against UConn not going to help his NFL case, though, as we are all over him for the most part. 3rd down and 1. Lugo will actually look to throw, goes over the middle, and that is completed. Giuliano just a little late on his tackle. 1st and 10 from the 43 as they're back in the tempo offense. Marable will get the carry and will get a first. A good pickup for Deshaun Marable. Suddenly, the BYU offense cooking. That last drive and this drive, both very good. Delayed handoff. Marable swallowed up. I think that's Raheem Lovelace that will be credited with that TFL. On 2nd and 12, RPO, quick throw to the tight end, and it makes it a 3rd and medium. 7 yards to go from the 40. Lugo has time running out now, scrambling right side and going to get the first down as A.J. Hepburn does not come up to tackle him. Fresh set of downs from the 30. Lugo been beating us on the ground quite a bit ever since the first quarter. Calls an audible and brings a man in motion and then takes the snap and fakes the handoff, looks to throw, block picked up, but then down he goes. A.J. Hepburn getting in the backfield this time and then hitting the gritty on Noah Lugo. A loss of 7 for the senior quarterback. Here in the 3rd quarter, Lugo throws. That is completed. Makes it a 3rd and 10. From the 30. Big 3rd down here. Man coming over in motion once again. And Lugo will look to throw. Looks like it's going to be a running back screen. Blocking set up pretty nicely, but Nate Putu makes the tackle. Makes it a 4th down, and it's going to be a relatively long field goal attempt. I cannot see the numbers on the field, but this looks like it's, roughly around 46-ish yards if I had to put a number on it. And that is good, just inside that right upright. And 3 more points for the Cougars. So still up 11 for UConn. 1st and 10 from the 23. And McBath will get the carry to start the new drive. Blitz got there, though. On 2nd and 12. Play action. And then looking to throw with Tobin. Looking for Dalton Schmizniak, who makes the grab and slides down out of bounds at the 41. That puts Dalton over 1,500 career receiving yards, the bulk of that coming this season. From the 41 of 1st and 10. As we'll just take a quick check down to Terry Overhauser. He's got great open field speed, and he gets past the 50. 1st down from the 48. We're back to pass again, and Tobin, he wants it all for Terry Overhauser. It's a step overthrown. Gotta remember that Terry Overhauser is very, very fast, though we don't get to see it super often. 2nd and 10 from the 48, and McBath will get the carry brought down. Pickup of 2. 3rd and 8 from the 46. So we're back to pass, and Tobin hits, he throws, he fumbles the football, and it's going to be returned. It's going to be a scoop and score for BYU. Touchdown Cougars. Tobin hit as he throws. His arm was still moving backwards, and it's ruled a fumble, and the Cougars take advantage. And the touchdown will make this a 1-possession lead for the UConn Huskies. Things going from bad to worse after the loss a week ago. Jack Hines, the one letting his man through. They are going for the 2-point conversion, by the way, to try to make it 24-21, a clean 3-point lead for UConn. Lugo throwing RPO, but a short pass, and it is incomplete. 24-19 your score. For a few weeks, it kind of seemed like this offensive line had figured things out, but back to old ways, I guess, in the last couple of games. Empty set for Tobin as he looks to throw and gets one out quickly to Brock Montgomery, who gets credited with the first. From the 32 of 1st and 10, no blitz coming from BYU. Lobbed pass for Dalton Schmizniak, who's got a good blocker down the field. Lots of space for Dalton Schmizniak as he gets up to the 33 in BYU territory. 1st and 10 for Tobin in the offense. And he's going to keep it this time. Down he goes, though, losing a yard. 2nd and 11. Back to pass again is Dorian Tobin. That's Marcus Angler, who loses his forward progress, but does end up getting a couple yards. 3rd and 9 now from the 32 as Tobin will look to throw. Scrambling to the right side. This defensive end has some serious speed, but Tobin finds the edge and finds a big pickup up to the 8. 1st and goal from the 8. Tobin to pass and scrambling again. Can he get into the end zone? Trying to dive for it, and he does. Dorian Tobin making up for the fumble on this drive with a couple of running plays and one going for 6. Touchdown UConn. They will re-extend the lead to 2 possessions. 2nd and 11 on a new drive for BYU. Handoff to Sean Marable, and he'll get 5. 31-19 is the score as we near the end of the 3rd quarter. Looking like this is in the hands of UConn at this point, as this one intercepted. It's Nick Giuliano, and he's gonna get a house call. Touchdown UConn. Bad throw from Noah Lugo. Things going from bad to worse for BYU now. It was looking like this game might be slipping away from UConn, but now it is firmly back in their possession. Nick Giuliano, I think that's his first interception on the year, and it goes for 6 in the final home game of the season. So I went ahead and fast forwarded to the end of the game because I think you got the point. But man, the Super Sim always does us so dirty, I feel like. BYU was starting to make a little bit of a comeback, so I came in and played the rest just to make sure that they didn't. But I don't know why the Super Sim hates me so much, but it's a win for UConn. It doesn't really have a lot of meaning at the moment, I gotta admit. Like, I know it's the last game of the regular season. It's the final home game for some of these seniors, and it might have, you know, meaning for individual players like Raheem Lovelace and Shaq McBath, for example, but it feels a little bit hollow, right? Because we're likely not making the Big 12 championship game. We're likely not making a college football playoff spot. So all we've got to look forward to is just, you know, a pretty decent bowl game. Like, it won't be an insane bowl game, but it'll be an okay one of the better ones of the teams that did not make the playoffs. But that's not really what we're after anymore here in the UConn Dynasty. We're after playoff spots. We're after a national title. We're on the cusp of being a team that can compete for that. So to miss it this season after being there last season kind of hurts. But hey, who knows? Maybe we'll still make it. Maybe we got lucky and we do make the Big 12 championship, and maybe we win that and we get the auto bid. Who knows? But that officially does it for the regular season. Before we advance, I'll show you the final regular season stats for everyone. Tobin, I believe, started 5 games, I think is the number. Finished with 1,800 yards, 14 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Was just, you know, worlds better than Welliver. On the ground game, McBath got over 1,000, but only barely, which is interesting because he was really good at the start of the year. We did start using Cadet more at the end, as it seemed like he was getting more yards per carry for the most part, and he falls forward more frequently as a power back. He's definitely the back of the future, presumably, unless some things change, but really good year for, honestly, both of our 2 backs. Dorian Tobin came in, got 223 yards on the ground after becoming the starter. In the receiving game, Dalton Schmizniak, the only 1,000-yard receiver, and the only 1,000-yard receiver by a lot. Nobody else even eclipsed 400. The pass game before we switched to Tobin was just so horrendous. I think Schmizniak or Tobin would have been the top wideout and maybe been at like 700 had we like kept going the way we were going. But it ends up being a pretty solid year for Dalton Schmizniak. Imagine if, you know, he had Dorian Tobin the whole time and was averaging, you know, the like 130 plus he was averaging with Tobin at quarterback. Brock Montgomery, I mentioned, was just a decent second option. Same goes with Angler, a pretty decent second option. Apparently he is a transfer risk. He is concerned about not having playing time at tight end, which I actually think is a fair assessment of Marcus Angler. He is at his ratings maximums. He's not going to get any better. The only reason he started this year is just because he's faster than Dan Sanders. But to be honest with you, Dan Sanders, I think, outperformed him a little bit later in the season. Tevin Madu, for only playing a handful of games, had a decent year as well, by the way. Defensively, Raheem Lovelace just played his final game at home at the very least. We're obviously going to have a bowl game and he will definitely play, but 104 tackles on the regular season, really good. Look at Joey Terrell for TFLs. 36 tackles for loss for Joey Terrell. The guy is a menace. He also finished with 7 sacks. Our leader, though, was Adonis Keogh, tied with Townsend with 8 interceptions. Kiki and Santos each with 4. That's super promising for the 2 junior corners going into their senior seasons. Joey Terrell did, by the way, get an interception in garbage time against BYU, so he went up to 2. Hepburn with a couple this season. Byler with 1, and Giuliano, of course, had the pick 6. Leader in pass deflections, Kiki with 8, Santos with 7, and then Hepburn with 6. And then the only guy who forced fumbles on the season was Raheem Lovelace with 3. Had 3 defensive touchdowns, George Kiki, Jamie Santos, and Nick Giuliano. So let's go ahead and advance the week and see if we got lucky. See if somehow we make the Big 12 title game. Anthony Giordano, who was visiting during that BYU game, has committed. That is a huge commit for this wide receiver room. Matthew Deese, another wide receiver, has committed. So we're improving the weapons of the future on this team to try to help John Pelshak, the presumptive QB of the future, be able to go get a natty. Lawrence Rogan, a quarterback, has committed. He is likely going to switch to receiver, I would assume. He has 91 speed, so that's basically 3 receivers committed in 1 week. We did, unfortunately, though, lose out on Rashad Tryon, as he basically insta-committed to Tennessee before even locking in his top 3. He was only at his top 5 last week and just has committed to Tennessee now. We jump up to second for Juan Beaver, where OSU is in first, and that is Oklahoma State, not Ohio State. Hey, Nick Giuliano with his pick 6 gets Big 12 Defensive Player of the Week. So here's what we need to know. Did Baylor lose? Did Texas Tech lose? Well, Texas Tech did not. They were able to beat Houston, so they're the 7th ranked team in the country. finishing 10-2. Baylor, however, appears to maybe have lost. They're not in the top 25 at all, as far as I can tell. Baylor did, in fact, lose another game. So they finished 9-3, 7-2 in conference. They lost 3 straight to end their season. So now the question becomes, what's the second tiebreaker? But we'll go ahead and advance, see if somehow we snuck our way into the Big 12 championship game. Isaiah Horner, the right end athlete, has committed from North Carolina. And that's it for the recruiting board for this week. We did not make the conference championship game, which means officially we have no path to the college football playoffs. It's Baylor versus Texas Tech. Winner makes it in. The loser probably doesn't. Although if Baylor wins and Texas Tech loses, Texas Tech still may make it in. You've got Middle Tennessee State versus Western Kentucky for the Conference USA Championship. I think Western Kentucky won that last season as well. San Diego State versus Boise State in the new look Pac-12. Akron versus Ohio in the MAC. Baylor, of course, versus Texas Tech in the Big 12. Troy versus UL Monroe in the Sun Belt. North Texas versus App State in the American. LSU and Alabama in the SEC. UTEP and New Mexico State in the new look Mountain West. 2 newer teams to that Mountain West. USC versus Penn State in the Big 10. Both of these teams will likely make the playoffs anyway. And then Tulane, currently the #1 ranked team in the country, against UNC in the ACC championship. So let's go ahead and advance again, see who wins the conference championships, and see officially who is in the college football playoffs. Casey Nesterowitz, the center, has committed to UConn. Middle Tennessee State upsetting Western Kentucky, winning 31-28. Boise State dominating SDSU 42-13 in the Pac-12. Akron beats Ohio. Texas Tech beating Baylor, so Baylor will not make the playoffs. Texas Tech, however, should be a top 4 seed. UL Monroe beating Troy in the Sun Belt. App State wins against North Texas in the American. LSU beating Alabama in the SEC. UTEP beating New Mexico State in the Mountain West. USC beats Penn State in the Big 10, and Tulane getting dominated by North Carolina in the ACC championship. So here is your official CFP bracket. In the first round, it'll be Boise State versus Stanford. It'll be Nebraska versus Penn State, Auburn versus Tulane, and Notre Dame at Alabama. Winner of Notre Dame, Alabama will go on to play LSU. Winner of Tulane, Auburn will play Texas Tech. Winner of Penn State, Nebraska plays USC, and winner of Stanford, Boise State plays UNC. So we'll go ahead and advance again. The Heisman winner for this season is Penn State quarterback Ezekiel Okoye. Hopefully I am saying that correctly. Let me know if I am wrong. 3,700 yards, 49 touchdowns, 2 picks for Ezekiel. Great year. Joey Terrell wins Best Defensive Player, not even Best Linebacker. Best Defensive Player for Joey Terrell. What a stud. AJ Hepburn wins Best Defensive Back for the 2nd time in his career. Joey Terrell wins the Best Linebacker Award. You had to see that one coming with being the Best Defensive Player. And we have been invited to the Alamo Bowl to face off against the Wisconsin Badgers. So let me know what you guys think about having this be a little bit of a senior day, starting guys like Cole Welliver, Shaq McBath, and letting them get one more chance in the limelight. Raheem Lovelace especially. But yeah, that basically wraps up year number 5, unfortunately. Kind of a sour note to end on, but that's just where we are. It was a little bit of a down year to start. Hopefully next season it gets a little bit better with the likes of John Pelshak and otherwise. But that is going to do it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching and for the continued support. Shout out to the channel members. I appreciate you guys so much. And if you want to become a channel member, consider hitting that join button down below. You can become a member for as low as $1 per month, and it does help me out a lot. But if you find yourself coming back on the regular and you aren't already subscribed, go ahead and hit that sub button for me. It does help me out a lot, and I will see you guys in the next episode where we'll play the Alamo Bowl as like a consolation prize for the UConn Huskies.